Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, of course.
Right, you know, and so they also had some of that in him, and they were calling, you know, back to Africa and things like that. And so the Rastaman, they have their own camp, their place where they isolate themselves.
Where's that at?
It's all over the place now.
Like in the woods?
In the hills and things like that. You have one, they call them the Boba Dread. The Boba Dread, they wear like a turban.
The white one.
Different
colors.
You have like 12 tribes of Israel. You have different factions. You have different sects of Rasta. Now you have
Actually,
12 tribes.
Dr. Bilal Phillips went to their place because his parents were living close to where they had one of their camp. And on one of his visits, one of their visit, at one of his visit here, he went to the camp and had dialogue with them. And when they could not match what he was throwing at them, they light up the chillon pipe. And they puff when they puff the smoke, it covers everything. You saw nothing at all, you know. Yeah. You know, but the Bubba Dread, their leader was Emmanuel.
They call them Bubble Dreads.
Yeah, Bubba Dread. Yes, you know, they're still around, but not as prominent as they were in the early days.
Now with like hip hop culture and the decadence. I mean, music is music. You can always hear a beat and appreciate it. You can always hear poetry and appreciate it. But that stuff is decadent, what they call women, and it's all about killing and murdering. I say black life don't matter to a lot of these people because they're killing each other.
That's true.
But back then, would you say that the people in Jamaica, generally speaking, were like conscious people who, when these forms of dawah came, they found it easy to take? Or Christianity was a barrier?
No, without a doubt. Christianity was a barrier then, and is still a barrier today, but probably not as it was then. Because one, Islam was somewhat new to the people. When they saw us, like in the 70s, the 80s, and you say you're a Muslim, they say, what is that? You know, if you say Malcolm X, then they will say, oh, right. So, you know, so Malcolm X, for the most part, was really the person who identified with Islam for these people. So the moment you say Malcolm X, they understand what you're talking about.
So Malcolm is respected here, huh?
Oh, yes, yes. By every sector of the
Who
people.
is respected more, Martin Luther King or Malcolm X?
Malcolm X. No, without doubt. Malcolm X.
In the UK, if you were to ask the average kid walking around there, Muslim or non-Muslim, Jamaican or what, say, name 3 leaders from the UK. They're gonna say Malcolm X, they don't know, Marcus Garvey. Who would be some great leaders who were grassroots leaders from Jamaica? Because Marcus Garvey's dawah was in America, right?
No, but he was here before he took his message out of Jamaica, because his message did not resonate so much with the people at that time, because we were still under colonial rule.
That's the 30s.
40s. Right. And so he migrated. And it is when he actually, today his message is more accepted now in Jamaica than that in the past.
He's celebrated now, huh?
Yes. Yes. So it's a national hero now. Yeah. Yes. And actually the first national hero. And so Marcus Garvey, then you have people like Paul Bogle. Paul Bogle fought the rebellion that there was this slave rebellion on the plantations that he was a part of. Sam Sharp. Nani, actually, there's this. She's one of the heroine in Jamaica, Nani of the Maroon. It is said that she was a Muslim, because there was this article that said she once said As a child back in Africa, she had to get up early in the morning. She had to wash herself, pray, and read the Quran. Right?
That's documented. She said
Yes,
that.
yes, that is what the documentary said.
Mm.
And so, because they said that she would, there's this myth about her that she had some supernatural power. She would go down and she'd prostrate, and her body would, get the bullets and they'd bounce off and things like that. So from that, we said more than likely she was praying. Because they say, she would kneel down and, put her face on the ground and things like that. And they said you never see her ear, her head was always covered. Just as our grandparents, parents to a lesser extent, but our grandparents, great grandparents,
Dressing models.
their dress would be below their knee. Their head would always covered. Their clothes was loose fitted and things like that.
Are the older women, the grandmothers? Well, a grandmother now could be 50 years old. But
Grandmothers now it's 30 years old.
yeah. So the generation of grandmothers during your time, like the changes that the Jamaican woman has gone through right now, and how the way people are looking now. You have some real sophisticated, respectful people, but the popular thing is what we find right now. Is there a voice out there saying to women, "Come on now, we got to do better than this"?
Yeah, but they're very, it's very low.
Low, very low.
It's not being heard.
Right.
The voice is out there, but
Yeah, it was
you're
not.
not hearing
It's
it.
it's been drowned
Yes.
in by today's happening.
It's a lot of noise out there.
Yes, it's been because you have women who still want to be modest, but they are against the odds.
Yeah.
And you have to be a real strong-minded person to blot out all the noise and decided that this is my way and whatever you want to say. But for the most part, you still have people, sounding the trumpet, but it is very low.
You're old enough to remember the effect and the impact of the Harlem Renaissance and how it musically, culturally, all that. It was a positive experience for African Americans anyway. With Jamaica being so close to America, a lot of stuff that happened in America comes this way. Was there any such thing as an impact of the Harlem Renaissance here on the island?
Of course, in Jamaica, we have a saying: when America sneeze, we catch cold.
Somebody told me that.
You see?
Somebody said that.
Yeah. When America sneezes, we catch cold. Right. So nothing that happens in America bypasses us. It probably comes here before it goes anywhere else.
Bahamas closer to.
So America, yes.
But Bohemians seem to be, I don't know how to describe it, like more laid back.
You see, of all the Caribbean islands, Jamaica, well, it is said the more rebellious slaves, the ones that were hard to control, this is where they would put them. Because this island is somewhat isolated from the rest. From Guyana to Trinidad, Barbados, St. Vincent, they are probably 20, 25, 30 minutes apart from each other. Here you're going to Trinidad, you'll probably get to New York before you get to Trinidad.
It's that far apart now.
You see? So the more rebellious slave, because actually you have a place in Sierra Leone, Freetown.
Yeah, Freetown, yeah.
Freetown,
Your scene was just there.
Freetown got its name from the slaves who escaped from Jamaica.
Wow.
And end up in this place. And when they got there, they said, we are now in a free place. We are in a free town. And so this is all the slaves from here.
Wow.
Right? They were able to escape. They were in those days, as I talked earlier, the Maroons. They fought the British to the extent that one of the leader of the Maroon was Taki, and they say his name was distorted. It should have been Taki Udin, right? And they could not beat them, so they came to some resolution and say, okay, we will give you this. This portion of land belongs to you. You have freedom to do whatever you want, right?
That's deep.
Yeah, and so to this very day, they still have a certain amount of autonomy. They have their own colonel. They call him the colonel. I think every 4 years there's an election to elect the leader for the Maroons, right? And so he makes the laws there and things like that. So the government just can't just walk in as they like. You know?
There's another country in West Africa next to Gambia. I can't remember the country. There was a lady who was their prime minister. That they said the free slaves from America went there.
Oh, that's Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia.
Yeah.
Where is Liberia from Sierra Leone?
They should be close to, yeah. But the Liberian flag is almost similar. You can easily mistake it for the U.S. flag, you know, the Liberian flag.
I thought we were going to go upstairs.
Yeah, but this is interesting.
Yeah.
Going back to what the Sheikh
Yeah.
was saying about the lost identity of the Maroons themselves, they don't
Let me check
necessarily
their setup.
they don't necessarily identify themselves with Islam per se. So
They look at they like kuffar. They see themselves as kuffar.
they use a lot of those paganistic
Yeah, man.
traditions from
They're-
Africa, and that's what they kind of
The church, they have, you know, Christianity and other mixtures of things, you know, in their belief. But for the most part, you know, Christianity is the predominant
Gotta go the other way. They
thing.
can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
The predominant Christian.
Yeah.
So they were saying that 60 or 75% of the West African states that came are Muslim.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
From Gambia as well for
Yes. Yes.
here? Man, that slavery did a job on us.
Jamaica was the largest slave market in the Caribbean.
I didn't know that.
We're ready to go upstairs.
We can go, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buck breaking was Jamaica.
Yeah, I have something that's research now. You know, I should have did it before I came, but I'm just
Yeah,
tired.
and so today,
Which one
even
to check out?
even to
Moon
this,
Lynch.
The Shia is greeting for the Maroons.
huh?
Wow.
The Assalamu alaikum and things like that. Yeah. Yes. So they have a lot of Islamic thing about them without even knowing it. So and it's a clear indication that it is coming down from way back when, and as they come along, the newer generation, they just follow suit, say the words without actually knowing why they are saying it. It has become more a part of them than anything else.
No, the Salah,
It's there.
it's in Maroon.
What about I don't know, can you call them immigrants, foreigners, the Indians and things like that who
Yeah.
came later, the Muslims?
Right.
Did they respect this historically as the first mosque that we should pay homage to and respect you, brothers? Or did they look at you as like, nah, it's not real Muslim. Not, you know how it is, like in America, that's how it is.
Well, where you're supposed to be going to Masjid al-Rahman today.
Yeah.
There's a dispute whether that masjid or the one in 3 Miles River in Westmoreland at the other end is the first to be built on the island. These were indentured servant Indians. And Mr. Khan, who built the masjid in Masjid al-Rahman, rahimahullah, I think it was built in 1951. And you find that when persons like myself start coming into Islam in the 70s, the people would say, oh, you have adopted the Indian religion. You know, because the difference between the Africans who came here as slaves and the Indians is that the Indians were able to keep their name and their religion for us, our names, our religion, our total identity was taken away from us. And so if your name was John Brown, it means that you were on the plantation of Mr. Brown or Mr. John or something like that. So these were the names that we have to this very day, and so the Indians they were visible in terms of practicing their religion. So the local people saw them, when they were doing their things. So when persons like myself start practicing Islam, that's the first thing. They will say, oh, you guys have adopted the Indian religion. And, I'm from, if it is a civilized conversation, we'll say, look, man, you had Muslims in Africa before you Indian do anything about Islam, and things like that. So we said, no, if anything, they are the one who have adopted the religion. It's not this, not us, and things like that. So but the thing is, the local people like, and this is why Elijah Muhammad could have we gravitated towards it, because we're Islam, we hear the name Islam, but then he gave us an identity. You are black people, you are God's chosen people, and things like that. And so you find, for the most part, the black man would readily move towards the teaching of Elijah Muhammad than the Indian. But in those days, you still had people who were practicing Islam. A few, I remember, at the temple, a brother from Spanish Town, Masjid al-Rahman, came there, just to observe. You're about, Muslim, so he came to see what it was all about. You probably will meet him, Naim Khan, right?
That's Mr. Khan's brother.
His son. Yes. But for the most part, yeah, we got Islam through the nation, and not so much through the Indian Muslims who were on the island. Because in those days, there was even a mixture of Hindu and Islam. Because we had a thing, you had a celebration in Jamaica, they call it the Ose celebration, commemorating the death of Imam Hussein. But they call it the Ose. And it was Muslim and Hindus who came together for this celebration. And because it was more like a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Hindu is having a celebration, those Indians who identify themselves as Muslim, they would go, because it's
Indian.
It's their Indian people, so it's their culture. And when the Muslims were having like the Eids and things like that, Hindus would come also, because it's a part of their culture, right?
Documentary that we circulated last year, which captured the communities back then, where they would cook together,
Yeah.
and they would have Indian activity, not so much so Muslim. It would be Muslim ceremonies, but it would be for all the
Indians, yeah.
And it's still around.
I think that's just, socially just part of what people do to survive, especially when it's hostile.
Yeah.
And I think we can't and shouldn't fall short of the mark of documenting what happened here and having these kind of sit downs. I remember when I was young in the projects back in America, I used to sit and listen to the old heads, man, and they'd be talking about all kind of things. And that's when I knew I didn't want to be no Christian. It was, I sat down with people who were talking to me the way you're talking, and I just find it fascinating. It's history before my own eyes, not something in no book. It's something right now. So I think you guys should, inshallah, continuously have little powwows like this, and you school the people, to what happened. What about the dawah effort right now in the community, the outer community, our relatives and people like that? How's that going?
The dawah effort is there, but our main problem is lack of manpower mainly. We have a resource, yes, but committed people to make themselves available to go out and give the dawah like our Jamaatul Tabligh would go out and do. In the 80s, a lot of the dawah effort then was mainly from the Jamaatul Tabligh.
SubhanAllah.
Yes, we had a brother who, Dr. Abdul Hakim Rahimahullah. He had his practice in New York, but he would come to Jamaica, spend 6 months, and he would bring like 10 or so brothers, and they from one end of the island to the next,
And they do their thing.
and they do their thing.
But you know, Sheikh, like one observation that I have about what Dr. Latif did, rahmatullah alayhi, is that you would probably relate better to our people than him. Although he may be a nice guy,
Yeah.
he does it, but it's just
Yeah.
we cut from the same cloth.
Of course.
And also, when I became a Muslim, I was with the American Muslim Mission. But I was like, nah, I can't grow with these dudes, man, because I really not feeling Elijah. I mean, I didn't have that connection.
Right.
And they wanted me to have, that's not my reality. And then WD, rahmatullah alayhi, I wasn't really feeling them. I like Farrakhan Khan as a speaker more than
Well,
him.
true.
But the brothers I was with, your age, your contemporary, they were not accommodating the Jamaat Tabligh. They were not even trying to grow those dudes. They were still saying the Honorable Elijah
Right.
Muhammad, Sister Clara Muhammad. The masjid is still called Sister Clara Muhammad Masjid. And if you tell them, come on guys, we gotta grow a little bit, they were antagonistic and hostile. What prevented you from being like that?
I guess one, if from an Islamic standpoint, we were not knowledgeable,
Yeah.
and so someone come
What is a
to
Muslim?
because
Knowledge.
and the thing about it, we were just transitioning from the nation,
Yeah.
because when I took my shahada in 1976, when Warithuddin Muhammad said, we now are going to practice Islam the Orthodox way. But I tell the brothers here, today the Muslims, those who are coming into Islam, are so fortunate. I said, when I became a Muslim, and I'm talking about a Muslim now, not part of a member of the Nation of Islam, the person who was the Imam then could not even teach me Alif Ba Ta, because he didn't know it. It's just that somebody had to be the leader. And so today you come into the masjid, you see 10 persons about the place, at least 9 can teach you Alif Ba Ta right to the end, and things like that. And so when this brother would bring the Tabligh Jamaat to Jamaica, then outside of them, it is when Dr. Bilal Phillips was studying at the university at the time. He would come to Jamaica like for 2 or 3 weeks and have program for us. And so this is when now we start getting to understand the real nuance of the deen and things like that. And then, alhamdulillah, in 1984, Dr. Abdullah Hakim Quick,
He's from here.
his wife is from here.
He's from Canada.
Yes. Well, I think he's originally from Boston, but
Yeah,
then
that's
he
right,
went to
that's
he
right.
went to Canada, and so he had just leave Saudi Arabia. His wife, father was still living in Jamaica, and she wanted to spend some time here, and they decided to come to Jamaica, and they spent about 3-4 years, here, and so
Living here.
living here, yes. So we had him, 24/7, for about 3 to 4 years. And during that time, Dr. Bilal Phillips was still coming. Actually, I tell people that one of his book, he brought the manuscript to Jamaica and distributed to us before the book was actually published, and things like that. So
Yeah, Bilal did a lot.
Yeah, so
He did a lot.
Yes.
He did a lot.
Definitely.
I have a sensitive question, kind of, but it's history, man. What
course.
we gonna do, man? I mean, sometimes a person will find himself thinking that this cat is his dad, But then he goes somewhere to say, he find out somebody else's dad.
Yeah.
We just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the things that we've lost as African Americans is, the self-hatred that we have causes us not to be able to appreciate our own.
That's true.
So I'm more inclined to listen to an Arab or a Pakistani. Now, if they're qualified and competent, so be it, so be it. What's the problem? That's one of the things I couldn't get with WD. I'm not gonna just take you as a leader because you're my color. You gotta make sense to me. I gotta feel it. I wanted to know from your personal experience, the Salafi brothers, did they respect you and the history that you bring to the table?
For the most part, I would say yes. You had persons who
They
were
didn't come in
resented.
saying you
You
off
go
of
across-
it, you don't know what you told,
Yeah.
you innovator.
Well, for the ones who are, I would say, ignorant, this was their typical behavior. But those who were sound in understanding, in knowledge, and things like that, they came, they respect you, they appreciate you, and they want to work with you, to make you better. But for those, and as we're on the topic, I can tell you that you've been here. I almost sure that before you leave, we will hear that we are off the manage now. You see? Because your coming here is a controversial because because I told the brothers that I get the opportunity to sit with you. This is something I would like to discuss, because you're here, and as we have said, when you get the information directly from the horse's mouth, then you know how to maneuver, and you can say things with more authority than out of speculation and things like that. So I told the brothers that I get the opportunity to sit with you. This is one of the areas I would like us to discuss.
Part of being a man is being able to sit with people, look them right in the eye, and say what you're about.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, this boogeyman minhaj. That's what people are. Boogeyman. Boogeyman gonna get you. So don't sit. And that's what they did with Prophet Muhammad. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's gonna put magic on you. This, that. Man, we ain't got time for that. We have more in common than we don't have in common. And the other thing, as a person, what I understand from this religion is older people have a special place. And I don't say that blowing smoke up anybody's ist.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So I have the ability to sit with people and to respect those people. And if I feel I need to advise them, I'm going to advise them. And if they advise me, I'm going to listen to that. As for he said, she said, that, man, we trying to build a nation, man. Get out of here. Ain't got no time for that, man.
That's it.
Who got time for that?
That's it.
That's what women and kids do. They got time for all that lollygagging and playing around. We got some serious challenges on the table. Like I told those brothers, we had a nice bass of fish. It was fried. So we got big fish to fry, man, and big nuts to crack. Ahmed, my man. Sit down. Shake the rain and the wind blew in the khair. Ahmed, welcome.
Yeah, I got to meet you, family.
How you doing, man?
So you allow me to meet him before you?
Yes, you can ask for that.
No, this is also respect.
Out of respect? No, you can't escape it. Yeah, no. Not accepted.
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, as you were mentioning about brothers, we have about 14 masjids, I don't know. And there are about 3 of them who strongly affiliate to that. Yeah. So one of the things, and you find it's unfortunate, as you said, the ones who are ignorant, is that they generally will hold blindly to what someone say rather than investigate.
And we've been commanded, as you know, to investigate.
Yes.
Because I'm one who have been listening to you many times. And I was wondering, what's the issue before? So I listened to one of the explanations you gave me, the mistake in the masjid as-sunnah. And, I was listening, I'm like, subhanAllah, these are the things that people end up blowing up out of proportion and shoot you off manhood. Like basic misunderstanding.
You know what it really is, Akhi, what it all boils down to, unfortunately, and I feel bad about that for them. and for us as a community, because we got a lot of work to
Yeah.
do. It boils down to a Salafiyya is understanding the Quran and the Sunnah the way the companions did.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I don't think any Muslim in his right mind is
Yeah,
going to
gonna
reject
be against
that.
Correct.
But we all are going to be in a journey to be the best that we can. But that's what it is. If I fall short of the mark,
Yeah.
I'm going to say astaghfirullah. That's from me.
Yeah.
And when I learned and embraced the Salafiyya, I learned I'm not taking anybody's position just like that because of him.
Yeah.
And we used to teach that.
Yeah.
We love Abu Hanifa, Malik, Shah. We love all, but Bukhari, but nobody is infallible except Al-Mustafa. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when that stuff happened and their sheikhs were given instructions,
I know.
I said, man, miss me with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here I am, African American in my community, we're moving.
Yeah.
And there were some brothers who didn't study and they got
Yes,
cool
yeah.
with the sheikh and they were the ones who started.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the sheikh is saying, don't let him be the imam.
Yeah.
Let him be the imam. No, sheikh, you deal with your relatives, your nieces and nephews in Saudi Arabia, and you do that over there.
Yeah.
But you ain't gonna tell me I'm gonna come into your house and say, your bedroom, I'm the sheikh. I want you to change the bedroom. You go into the kids' room, the kids go and change the wallpaper and change it. Who's gonna do that? Anybody who thought they could tell you that, you're gonna say, wait, you have no respect for me as a man. So I said, not because I'm special or anything, but I saw the game from the door.
Yeah.
I'm not following people telling me what to do like that. And as a result of that, I became public enemy number one.
No. You know.
Bilal Phillips, the same way.
Yeah, man. It's the same way. It's the same way.
And you know, my moms used to tell me, and she taught us this, you can't tell me nothing about my friend. I know that man.
Yeah.
Now, it's possible as a human being that he could be a crackhead under DL, I don't know. He could be LGBT, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna listen to you just because you said it.
Yeah.
I gotta find that out. So you brothers know Bilal Phillips.
Yeah.
You know what he did. You know what he's on. We know the sacrifice.
Yeah.
But because a group of people say
Yes,
he's a,
yeah.
who does that?
Yeah.
Like who listens to that?
Yeah.
So that's what it is, Akhi. That's why I feel like coming and having this opportunity. When they told me this was a masjid of brothers on the nation, I said, what? I didn't even know that. It was just intriguing. I said, I got to go check it out. And, I'll be happy to sit with them and chop it up. And it was even beyond my expectations because I feel like now we got a relationship. Inshallah, we're going to continue to hold on to it.
Inshallah.
Forget all that dumb stuff, man.
Yeah.
These guys think we Frank Sausage Head or something like that. We ain't Frank Sausage Head, man. We're trying to get the work done, man.
That's it.